he was funny. He'd phone get to work at 6 or something, and quarter after 6:30 in the morning, he'd phone. He'd say, Roger, Robert? I say, yeah. He says, come in, I need a customer, you know. I said, oh. He says, your painting's ready for your sister.
It was good for me because it helped me to realize that art can be fun and spontaneous and open and just go with the flow and that kind of thing. And that was really good for me. I needed that to understand that. So.
You having fun?
Huh?
You having fun?
Oh, yeah.
This was Roger's life from 6 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. After that, it was a total mystery. I had no idea. But during those work hours, you could come in and, experience his creativity, or be exposed to his creativity.
I think one thing that really made the restaurant attractive to people like art was that the restaurant was a very calm place, and people who might be experiencing demons or something.
Yeah, Roger was hardly judgmental, right?
Yeah.
As long as you could pay for your coffee.
Just depending on the day or the mood, how it is, a cloudy, dull day for 10 days in a row, or, at time you go into the restaurant, it would be nobody around, 2 in the afternoon, and Roger would be sleeping in the booth or something. And so you walk in, sit down quietly, and maybe say, oh, Roger, are you dead? Or death would be a topic of, cycle of life and so on. And he says, no, how are you feeling? And he says, oh, well, I'll make your painting. Come back tomorrow. And so this one here too, it's like, I think that he says, oh, Robert, here's your, here's a painting when we're dead. So it's this, here's the skeleton, and here's Roger visiting wherever we are. Looks nice green world though, eh?
I remember going in there and
Definitely thousands.
Whenever I was in the neighborhood, and a lot of times I'd see people from across Canada, BC, Quebec, Ontario. Somebody knew to drag them down there to experience Roger.
Well, there's not much else to do.
I was kind of looking for a name for this show that had the right feel for it, and so I asked Roger, can I use this name and so on, and so he sold me the sign, and I named the show Utopia Cafe, and the thing is, people have asked me, is there any connection between Utopia Cafe and the restaurant and the show? And there isn't really. There's not a literal connection, but there's kind of almost a philosophical connection in the sense that the show was very much a collage, very much a mixture of elements, and I think in that way it's not unlike what Roger did.
When we did the article about him, the reporter or the cameraman was going there to take a picture of him, right, for the article. And so Roger called me up and he said, okay, you come tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, okay? So I went and walk in the door, and the guy, the photographer, is standing there with his camera. He's looking at me. He says, I don't know what happened. So, well, what do you mean? He says, well, I walked in here, said I'm from Leader Post. Roger runs and hides in the bathroom, locked the door. So I went back and I knocked on the door and I said, hey, Roger, what's going on? He says, oh, Rick, hey, good. And he opens the door and he'd taken a red felt marker and he'd drawn a mustache on his face like this. He had a red beret and he had these sunglasses that were painted black and then with white musical notes on them. And this bright red shirt and orange tie, and he came out and he just started posing just crazy.
I always tell people that he's Regina's living master of art because he's still alive, and in my terms, I consider him a master of art. And the fact that he's a live human being I can talk to, it's great.
He'd come in every morning at about 7 o'clock, and he'd just have a cup of coffee, and then he'd walk around and he'd talk to everybody, and he'd he'd give them whatever painting he'd been working on, and he'd give me one, and he'd give the cook one, and you know, and then we'd all kind of like compare them and then roll them up and take them home. So I have lots and lots of his stuff.
This one time he does a sketch for me, and it was on Nude, eh? And Bill goes, well, why would he paint something like that and give it to you? I says, no, you know.
Because I wouldn't buy it.
You know. I says, there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it was Valentine's Day too, eh?
Oh.
And so he did profile of Bill and I, Bill on that side and me on this side, and he gave it to
Little
us.
sketch.
Yeah, he says, have a good Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He brings much beauty to my face. How are you, Layton? Layton. He brings much beauty to you.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Judy.
How are you?
Good.
Good to
Nice
see you
to
again.
Yeah. This book flower.
Oh, you're
It's to
welcome.
bring flower, so thank you. This is flower. You can buy.
Yeah, okay.
You should hold her hand, this special. She's a sweet lady. That's why she bring me flower. My wife never bring flower.
Oh.
My wife bring me a whole bunch of rice.
Cooked, I hope.
You can put a man singing.
Oh, here it is.
You can put a man singing for me.
Okay.